You've heard of jihad, and you may have heard of cultural jihad, but what is it? We're going to be talking to somebody who is not just an expert on Islam and jihad, but someone who was trained for that very purpose and had a dramatic conversion when he experienced the Lord Jesus Christ. His name is Kamal Saleem, and he is the author of The Blood of the Lambs, or The Blood of Lambs. He is our guest today. Welcome to Faith and Freedom, Kamal.
Thank you. It's good to be with you again today, sir.
We left yesterday. You're a young boy now. You are smuggling a cache of weapons into Israel through the Golan Heights up in the north, going through a tunnel that apparently the Syrians had dug underground. You come up on the other side, and the Israeli soldiers find out about this, and there's a war that takes place. Young boys that you saw were literally cut down by these weapons. And pick us up from there.
Yes, what happened is I became a recruiter. I was recruiting other young men because, when you come as a hero the first time on your first mission, now you become ultimately a big hero. Fidaiyin, what the Palestinians use, is the name means the one who give their life for the sake of the cause. And with this, so when I recruited this Muhammad, I promised his mother I'll bring him back alive. That day, it was an ambush.
And before we pick up on that, you actually had a previous recruiting mission, I believe, and you came back as a hero, where you're actually smuggling weapons, if I recall. And
correct.
You came back to your town, your first mission. So this was, I think, a second mission or a subsequent mission. The first mission was you were actually successful in getting weapons into Israel.
Correct.
For the PLO.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
And you come back and you're treated as a hero, and you're just a young boy, 7, 8 years old, something like that. You're not very old. You're giving a hero's welcome back at home in Lebanon.
Correct. You see, in Islam, every Muslim must go to hell first, and purify in hell for as long as Allah willeth. And then Allah may have mercy on him and bring him to heaven, to paradise, that is, and by replacing him by Jewish or Christian, that's according to the teaching of Islam. So therefore, what happened is the only people who will not go to paradise without judgment are the one what's called jihad, the jihadist, which is the one who died for the sake of Allah. And what happened, the martyrs is the word. So with this, what happened is when you shed your blood as a martyr, the first drop of your blood, you become an intercessor for 70 of your immediate family. These can go to paradise without judgment. And
so now, if you're a martyr, you bypass hell, you go straight to paradise. You have the 72 virgins, but also you're able to get your family out of hell and go into paradise as well.
You become like a Messiah. Because your blood become holy. And how do you purify your blood to become holy is not by killing yourself, but by killing other by your blood. And that's the purification system. And so therefore you become very, very important in Islam, just like you would call him a saint somebody. You become like a saint, right away. And so therefore what happened is on the second mission, Muhammad, it took shrapnel through his esophagus and severed his back, his spinal cord.
And this was somebody that you had now recruited because of your elevated status because of your first successful mission.
That's correct. The first mission was successful. We were sent on a second mission, and now on a second mission, I was 8 years old, I believe. I didn't know what my age was until I came to the United States, I believe. So with this, what happened is we're recruiting those children, and we're coming out of the hill, we're coming out of the tunnels, the same tunnels that you see dug from Mexico to the United States of America. These are the same structure. We were teaching everybody how to do them at that time. And so with this, we're coming through, and we came over the hill, and the shepherd and the sheep were slaughtered all over the place. And as soon as we arrived over there, we start taking, they start hitting us with everything they've got, the Israeli military. And every kids were just killed or just injured. I don't know what happened, but I was just that little child that, I fell there and I was crying, Mama. And Muhammad took the shrapnel and he fell to the ground, and I started crying because I promised his mom I'll bring him home back alive. That day I threw him on my shoulders and I ran toward the Syrian borders. As the Israeli was chasing me, he became a shield to me. He was taking bullets for me. And with this, when I arrived home, that day, after, we arrived at the other side, they took us, back to Lebanon, and everyone was celebrating the death because the jihad is a wedding celebration to paradise, where the children can be marrying those virgin women in heaven, 72 virgin women, all yours because of what you did. So this is what we were doing. And his mother conversation with me, she said, "You promised you bring him back alive." I said, "Well, I did. I could not hold this. Allah had a higher call for him, and today he's in a better place. His was 72 virgin wedding." And he's celebrating with Allah, So she celebrated his death, and she threw a wedding feast for the neighborhood to celebrate his death in heaven. This is the childhood, teaching that we had.
So this is the mother of this boy that you recruited. He's a young boy as well. He gets killed out there trying to smuggle these weapons into Israel. And
Correct.
The mother, instead of mourning his death, is actually celebrating his death because now he's a martyr.
That's absolutely correct.
It's hard for people to imagine this, and it also is hard for people to understand little children being recruited in this particular way. But Yasser Arafat is an individual that you met. You also saw Muammar Gaddafi, the then leader of Libya. You saw Saddam Hussein, the then leader of Iraq. But Yasser Arafat had other camps where they were training young children like you for jihad.
That's correct. We had those camps all over the Mideast, whatever country would allow us. Any country is supporting us now financially. They will have to allow us to come into their nation to start training and recruit the Palestinian or whomever he want to become part of jihad. So with this, Muammar Gaddafi, open camp in his Sahara in the desert, and we were training his people, and we were training terrorists from all over the world, from South America, from United States of America, from Ireland, you name it, whomever.
What's amazing is that you actually were in a training camp where they were training Islamic terrorists, but they were also training terrorists from Ireland. They were training terrorists from other parts of the world. Anything that was terror-related, actually, you were helping to train.
You see, we must understand that these, what we refer to them today as in the ism God, communisms, socialisms, Islamisms, fascisms, all those, secularisms, they have unholy alliances. The unholy alliances have the same mean and same power for these people to unite together for one cause, to destroy the freedom of the world, the liberties of the world, the happiness of the world, and control the world with new power. The new giants that they are trying to approach the world with today is the isms God.
Well, we're going to be continuing to talk about that. Lieutenant General retired William G. Boykin says Kamal's riveting story is a must-read. I certainly agree with General Jerry Boykin. It is The Blood of Lambs by Kamal Saleem, a former terrorist memoir of death and redemption. We're going to be talking about redemption later in this program, but we're also going to turn our attention to cultural jihad. What is happening here in America? You've heard the story about Kamal's involvement with terror, and there's much, much more, which we'll briefly touch on, but I want to focus tomorrow on cultural jihad and what's happening in America, because we hear about what's taking place over there. As awful as that is, how does it affect us here in the United States of America? I'm Matt Staver. Our guest today and throughout this week is Kamal Saleem. The book is called The Blood of Lambs. It is a fascinating book to read. I would encourage you to buy the book. We have it available at our website, Liberty Counsel, lc.org, lc.org. You can order the book right there. You can also go to Kamal's website, koomministries.com, Koome ministries.com.